Namaste. So let's talk about the third holy name in the Lalita Sahasranāmam. Śrīmat Siṃhāsaneśvarī. This is one of my favorites, and you'll see why as we get into it later on. Lalitāmbikā. Lalitāmbikā. The beautiful, playful, vivacious Queen of the universe sits on the throne of a lion. There's her lion right there. The lion is her carrier. And of course, the lion is the king of beasts and associated with ferociousness and stalking and victory, because the lion can defeat every other animal, even the elephant. So she's undefeatable. Just like Ganesha's carrier is a mouse, signifying that Ganesh is very light on the hearts of his devotees. But the same way, Lalita is very ferocious and powerful, and she forcibly takes over the heart of the devotees. So this is very wonderful. If you're into bhakti, then when you chant any of her mantras, you will find it's really true. So she is the supreme goddess, the Empress of all the gods, and she is also the supreme dissolver. She's not only the creatrix, but she also dissolves this universe, especially when she gives moksha. When she gives moksha, what happens is that the material creation completely disappears. And instead, one sees only Brahman. Of course, what we call the material creation is actually just an appearance in Brahman. So it doesn't completely disappear, but it is seen very differently by the self-realized beings. So she is that appearance. She is Mahamaya. That's going to be one of her names coming up later on. So the name Śrīmat plus Siṃha, lion, āsanam, or throne, and Iśvarī becomes Śrīmat Siṃhāsaneśvarī. So Śrīmat signifies the supreme respect. This is the highest title that can be given to any god or goddess. Shriman in the male form, and Srimati or Srimate in the vocative female form. So she is the destroyer. Now, she can destroy this whole universe, and the Rudras who do the work of destruction are simply emanations of her power. So she's sitting on the lion throne, the all-conquering Empress, capable of destroying the entire universe, either individually, for those who she gives moksha to, or collectively at the end of the Mahakalpa. And of course, Iśvarī means the controller, the ruler. So she is the supreme ruler of this universe, of this world. And she is within us. Remember, Iśvarī, the controller of everything, is consciousness. Everything that we experience, including the universe and God and everything, shows up in consciousness. And we're going to do a related video about that today, the next video in the Vivartha-vāda series. So all the first three nāma-s in this Sahasranāma begin with the letter Śrī. Now Śrī signifies the goddess of fortune, Lakṣmī. And it also means prosperity, wealth, power, knowledge, and so on. Okay, so she has all these things in abundance, and she can bestow them to her devotees very easily, effortlessly, in fact. So everyone who worships her gets enough abundance to carry them through this life safely and easily. And she also protects her devotees. That's another meaning of sitting on the lion, that she protects her devotees. Anybody that messes with her devotees better look out. You have a lion in your future. So the word Siṃha, a lion, comes from the Sanskrit word Himsa. Himsa means destruction. So the Siṃha, the lion, protects her and protects her devotees by destroying their enemies. And their enemies actually do a pretty good job of destroying themselves. So these first three nāma-s indicates, beginning with Śrī, indicates that the devotees of Lalita will attain all prosperity, especially in the area of knowledge and self-realization. They'll get everything they need to attain moksha. So she is the creator, sustainer, and dissolver of the manifestation. Shivam is simply awareness. He's static. He's inactive. He doesn't do anything. He simply watches and enjoys. And she is the active part of Brahman. See, Shiva and Shakti are two apparently different beings, but actually they're one Brahman. The static Brahman and the active Brahman. We talked about this last time. The Prakasha and the Vimarsha. So, her true devotees, in the end, merge with her. And this is called Laya. It's a form of dissolution. So she's also the destructor of the false ego, the false identity, and false personality of the devotees. This is her mercy. Oh, and I wanted to mention something. This name was and a very important clue to uncovering the history of the development of religion in India. That I used to be in ISKCON, the Hare Krishnas, and they have their guru sits on a throne called the Siṃhāsana, right? But nobody can explain where this name comes from. So, amazingly enough, here it is, number 3 name in the Lalītā Sahasranāmam. And if you dig a little more, you'll find, previous to the current Krishna consciousness movement, which started really only about 500 years ago, there was a deep movement of Devi as the goddess in North India, Bengal especially. And this movement had gone on for thousands of years. But because of the monotheistic invasions of the Muslims and then the Christians, the people there were being oppressed because the Westerners just couldn't understand the polytheistic goddess worship. In fact, they were highly allergic to it, and they suppressed it as far as they could. In fact, the Muslim religion started out as a conflict between monotheism and polytheism within Muhammad's own family. We're not going to get into that. But anyway, so this habit of suppressing polytheism was very much ingrained in the Muslim colonialists who invaded Bengal. So the ancient goddess-oriented tradition was made over into a male god-oriented monotheism. And this is Krishna consciousness. This is Hare Krishna. This is Bengali Vaishnavism, Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So this is the history And it was done primarily for political purposes. But so much of the ancient lore was simply transferred over from one to the other. And then they had to cover it all up so it wouldn't be obvious to the Westerners that this was actually just a continuation of the previous tradition with a layer of makeup or indirection, actually deception on top of it. So anyway, that was very enlightening to me. The next name, number 4, is Chid Agni Kunda-saṃbhūtā. Chid Agni Kunda-saṃbhūtā. That is a combination of the words Chit, Agni, Kunda, and Saṃbhūtā. Chit means consciousness, the nirguna Brahman. Actually, awareness, because nirguna means perfect monism, no dualism at all. There is the subject, but there's no object. This is called subjective awareness, pure awareness. Ramana Maharshi calls it I, because the only thing to be aware of is the self. And of course, the self is I. So I, being aware of I, is this nirguna Brahman. We all have this within ourselves. We all have to discover this. This is an important part of the process of self-realization. So, the Brahman without attributes, the foundational awareness, is the Chit. Agni means fire, and Kunda means like a container. So the Agni Kunda is the fire altar. You've seen it in our videos on the Siddha Lakṣmī Stotram. We do a fire ceremony, a fire sacrifice. And the fire is contained in a copper vessel. This is called the Agni Kunda. So the Chit Agni Kunda and Saṃbhūtā means born. So she is born from fire, not any fire, but the sacred fire, the sacrificial fire, in which the fire is consecrated and becomes the mouth of God. And then so many offerings are made to this fire. You've seen it in our other videos. And this is called Agnihotra, or Homa, or Agni Yajna. So the darkness of ignorance is what keeps us trapped in this material world. And this is called ajnana. Though ignorance is dispelled by light. Darkness cannot exist if even a ray of light comes in, isn't it? So she is the ajnana. She is both the darkness and the light. And her being born of fire signifies that she is full of light. So when she comes into someone's life, and this is my experience, I always speak from my experience. I don't read out of a book. That when she is the focus of consciousness, one's consciousness is full of light. So Chid Agni Saṃbhūtā. Agni Kunda, she is born, literally, the story, her origin story, is that she's born from the sacred fire. So she is carrying the light of consciousness, pure awareness without an object. She is the supreme consciousness. She is the Maya, the ignorance, the illusion, and she's also the Chit Agni, the fire, the light that illuminates everything and destroys the ignorance. So she has many sides, and all these sides are revealed to the devotees. So simply by worshiping her, we can attain the most perfect self-realization. Aum Tat Sat. Aum Harihi Aum.